About 4 months ago, I brought the Zoo Tycoon 1 aviary and put it into Planet Zoo. Today, I was kind of hoping to have a little bit of a project where I could, flex my creative muscles, so to say, and I wanted to do the reptile house. So, in case if you guys have never played Zoo Tycoon 1 before, there were a whole bunch of different kind of like animal houses that you could use. And one of these was Reptile House, and it was wicked cool. It had like these nice little aviary mesh cages on the back. They had like turtles and stuff in there, and you could change out what was on the actual inside of it. In case if you guys weren't really aware, Zoo Tycoon 1, you can't really do interior of buildings, but you could do these little animal houses. And I always love these just because they had such a little charm to them that I feel like the rest of the game really complemented. And I really wanted to bring this one especially into Planet Zoo. So you guys are seeing what is now a kind of like 800 times sped up, 800% at least, speed build. And this one took me a while. I'm not even gonna lie. This one was one of the most difficult speed builds I had to do. Not really had to do, but I just felt like I had to finish it, really. So making our way throughout here, you could see just what I'm starting off with. I really wanted to get this interior viewing gallery all set and done. I thought it would look really nice in there. And we also do have 2 exhibits on the side. We'll actually get there when we get there. And right here, I was kind of just trying to figure out like the blueprint and like the layout of the place and like trying to figure out the angles of that back cage and whatever. I believe Savannah did her own version of this. I really suggest you guys check that one out after this one, because I'm sure she did such a better job than I did. But popping in here, I do want to say that I did use mods in this. I used like a few different faux rock mods and stuff like that, some plants, just as a way to help spruce up the build a little bit. This isn't going to be on the workshop or anything. It was really just I want to pop in here, I want to build some kind of terrariums and reptile cages, and that's really about it. I really do like this wall back here though. Like, I don't know, it has like a certain charm on the exterior of the build. I always did like that in there. And I also felt like that was too sharp of a curve, so we do the same thing on the other side. Kind of make that be a much more gradual curve, if that makes sense. So you can see that there's going to be a lot of cuts in this video, and I hope you guys don't really mind that. I'm kind of looking at like 14, 15 different takes where I was like, I'm going to build a little bit today, then put it down. I think this entire build took me around like 2 weeks. It was so difficult just to like get all these small little details right, and I didn't get even all the details right. I still had a way to go, which kind of sucks, but it's fine for what it is. I just wanted to get the speed build out to you guys, just because I really wanted you guys just to see like the parts where I'm really proud about. So we do a whole bunch of different things on the actual interior of the build, and the mesh. Like, those are my 2 favorite things, and also the glass on the inside. I thought that came out pretty good as well. But over here you can see me just trying to work with the general layout of the building, as well as the terrariums. I don't really use the terrariums all too much in game, just because they're big and they're clunky, and they really weren't what I was looking for this build specifically. But I kind of make it work, and you can see in just a little bit I do use like the canopies. I think I put those down right now, or maybe I put them down later. I will change them out, keep that in mind. I really wasn't feeling them, and I wanted to do some custom ones. Yeah, here we go. I changed these to be all red, but I was like, in the end, that just doesn't look good. It looks so messy. So I kind of fixed that up later down the line, but working on this over here, I was trying to get the initial supports for the building all set, and I really wanted it to be kind of like every so often. I was really trying to look at like, the base model of what we had over here, which, by the way, can we just talk about this? That base sprite that you see in like the thumbnail and stuff, that's an actual 3D model. One of my favorite things about Zoo Tycoon lore is that pretty much everything in the game is rendered in 3D, and then it's turned into sprites from there. I forget the actual name of the process, but it's super awesome just because there's so much promotional art and kind of like dev kits and stuff like that that really go to show like the true beauty of the game and the exact process that gave it its kind of like timeless look. I always do love to see that. Now we're actually working on the interior of the actual exhibits over here. I'm not really doing anything too crazy. I'm kind of just doing my same old song and dance with the nice faux rocks. Oh my gosh, I really do love NDP's faux rock pack. It's been so long since I've actually used it, and it just feels super awesome just to get back in here and start to use like all those pieces once again. But I'm also using a whole variety of different tropical plants. I use some bamboo, I use some of those bird's nest ferns, I use a whole bunch of that stuff, and I really do like it. Now, right over here, I start to work on the actual roof. It's nothing really too crazy, but I really did love how well it came out, especially when the sun kind of hits inside the building just right. It looks so awesome. But making our way right into here, you can see that I'm using the mud pillar in the middle, and that's a really easy way to anchor your build down and create a single XY axis on which it can rest on, and that way you can create perfect circles. My good friend Poison Blade kind of taught me that. He's working on a beautiful new zoo. If you guys do have the time, I really do suggest you guys looking up Poison Blade Planet Zoo just to see what that crazy cat is up to. Oh my god, I love all the stuff that he does. But making our way over here, I wanted to give it a little bit more of a unique roof. So again, I'm using that same mud pillar technique, and I am making these nice little triangle pieces of these wood beams. Very much made every single bit or so, I don't really know, but I felt like it came out pretty good in the end. And another thing you'll notice about the sprite too is that it has some terracotta kind of leading out, so I wanted to use that on the interior as well, so I start to repeat that a lot. And it looks super awesome. I really do love this. This terracotta pattern is on the workshop. I actually forget who made it, but if you guys just search up terracotta, it should be a pack of like 3 different types of terracotta, and it looks absolutely gorgeous too, so I really hope you guys check that out. I do apologize if I forget who actually made it, but go give them the love that they deserve. It's just such an awesome piece, really. And then inside the exhibit, I wanted to take the easy way out, so I kind of just cover it up with some faux rocks. This is also kind of realistic, because when you get to like the edge of the habitat and stuff, you want some stuff to kind of solidify your wall down, so maybe sometimes they would use like plaster and faux rock as a way to kind of leverage a build. Not a build, but an actual glass wall or beam or support or anything like that as a way to help it feel a lot more secure. Now, one of the things I felt like this entire build was needing is a roof, so I kind of get to work on that, and I'm using all these beautiful plaster pieces. In the end, we do cover them up though, but it's pretty good that we actually started with this because we do give our build a roof by doing that. So I was just trying to work with like all the angles and stuff. I was trying to work with where the pieces would actually go and whatnot. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good in the end. So we also do these little bump outs right over there. I'm not really sure what you would call them. And we also do a little bit of a custom arch over there. I don't really dress it up all that much. In fact, I kind of do hide it. Just because I really wasn't looking to build that much in this exhibit anymore. I just wanted to get this build out there and show you guys, I don't know, just like a nice little video. Just kind of sit down, talk with you guys, talk about like all the techniques that I'm doing, but it's not really the best build of mine, I'm not gonna lie, but it's still a build that means a lot to me just because I love Zoo Tycoon that much. Maybe someday we could actually have a stream where we could play it together or something. I feel like that would be fun, especially for like 10k. We could have like, you know, a little blast from the past or something like that. I feel like that would be pretty fun. So making our way throughout here once again and adding the rest of like that roof. I feel like that would be a really great way to kind of like cover up all that stuff. And I also want to use the plaster walls as well, just to kind of level off the second part of the roof. Now the roof is kind of where I kind of throw all creativity to the wall, just trying to see what sticks. Obviously it's not a one-to-one recreation for the roof up there, but I did have a lot of fun with it, so hope you guys still enjoyed that a bit. But making our way throughout here, I also wanted to make this little planter in the center as well. So I kind of make that with the gravel, and I have a whole bunch of like desert plants in there. I felt like that would really be pretty good for like the tropical vibes and whatnot. So we also have a nice strangling fig right in the middle. I felt like that nice little tropical kind of influence over there would be super awesome for a build like this, especially with like all that terracotta on the bottom. I felt like that would be perfect. So we also use a few different modded plants as well throughout there as well. But making our way to the actual exterior over here, this is the part I had a little bit of difficulties with, but in the end we kind of made it work. I was trying to work on the actual mesh on the build over here, so what I do over here is essentially just trying to play with all these pieces and create sort of like a gradual kind of incline, if that makes sense, for like all the mesh to be. I don't even think I put down all the mesh, I think, because I really hate doing mesh work. But I did like doing the frame. Don't get me wrong. I really did love doing the frame over here. It turned out really nice. It feels super nice. It feels super... I don't want to say modern. What's like... It feels very retro. Yeah, it's the opposite of modern. It feels very retro. Here's what I was doing for those awnings as well. I did some custom ones. Just using the art shapes. I don't really use these all too much. Because they're just so difficult for me to use. I don't know, like, my brain doesn't work well with that. I need, like, you know, those full pieces and whatnot. And what sucked most about this is that I couldn't just rotate it on its axis. I had to do the same thing on the other side as well. But in the end, we just copy that to the other side. We kind of cover up those little pieces of the plaster over there too. And then we just tuck that in right there. It all looks nice and gorgeous in the end. I also do the mesh on the around the build too. So I don't have anything on the roof, but I do have all the mesh around the sides and whatnot. So just don't throw any birds in here or anything like that. Luckily, our tortoises can't fly yet. We're working on trying to get them to do that eventually, but still, it'll be fine. So we kind of make our way throughout here as well. And we start to do a little bit of the roof at least. I think there's some of the smaller pieces like towards the side that I don't really do, and I hope you guys forgive me on that. But I did want to have some cross beams over here as well, just everywhere where those pillars were. And what I get to work on over here is the actual roof. I was super excited about this one. So I used Nick's gravel pieces from the actual Safari pack. Just a really, really awesome versatile piece over there. Well, really piece set. I use a whole bunch of them. Don't tell anyone though. So I start to make my way throughout here, and I was like, alright, what would be on a roof? So I start to think of all the stuff I could add, and I'm like, honestly, I should probably get used to the HVAC and stuff like that. It's a really realistic piece that you would use for builds like this, so I start to accommodate myself a little bit with that, and I use Mr. Domez's air conditioned set right up there. Really awesome piece, especially for doing these small details and whatnot. So I start to use these aircon units, kind of just making their way throughout this entire roof. Not really sure what the functions would be. I'm kind of just going off of what I feel like would be seen up here. And I also use the 3D printed kind of panels. Yeah, 3D printed panels. Awesome work, Leaf. As a way to create a little bit more of a storytelling element up there. That's where the keepers would walk in order to do some maintenance up top and yada yada yada. What I also do over here, if you guys notice on the sprite, there is a little bit of a door on the side with that kind of like clamshell kind of archway. I don't really know what that would actually be called, but I wanted to get that over there, and we kind of hide it over with a little bit more foliage. And what I also wanted to do was add all these fences around here, just because it was a nice easy thing to do, and it really does help elevate the build a lot more. I also want to add some fences to the roof as well, because you can also see that in the sprite. Usually it goes all the way around, but I only have it in like these key places. I just felt like, you know, that would be right over there. Like, that would be where you would put that. So I also go in with the foliage just as a way to help wrap up the build. Just as a way to tie it all together. I was kind of done with this at this point, and I was like, alright, I just want to get this video out there for you guys. So I hope you guys still enjoyed kind of like talking this process through. If you guys want to tackle this build, please, I dare you. I would love to see any one of you try and recreate this, because it's probably one of my favorite buildings in the actual Zoo Tycoon 1 game, and it's just so beautiful. I want someone to really, really give it the care and detail that it needs. I feel like that'd be a super awesome like challenge for you guys. Maybe we'll start to do some contests for 10K. I feel like that'd be super fun. But I don't know, we'll certainly see when we actually do get there. What I'm also doing over here is creating a little bit more of a storytelling element. We just throw a bunch of keeper stuff over there, just a whole bunch of pots, buckets, pans, all that kind of jazz. And that little pot spilled over and left all of those plants over there. And I was like, would it look good if I sunk all that down? and I start to try and sync everything down, but all the hitboxes just weren't working, so I was like, we don't need to worry about that, it's fine. I also throw down some solar panels as well, just to help tie it all together. But that is it, my friends. Oh my gosh. Hell of a build, am I right? So thank you guys for sticking through this build. I really do appreciate it. If this is your first video here, please watch anything else. I'm not enthusiastic about this whatsoever. I get like this sometimes with some speed builds. But still, I hope you guys enjoyed the video nonetheless. If you did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like and maybe even leave a comment. I still appreciate you guys regardless, even if you don't do that. So I hope you guys all have the most wonderful of wonderful days, and bye-bye now.